My name is Kobe Kushner. I'm an analyst here at Red Cloud Securities. We're about to hear from Peter Wilson of St. Anthony Gold. This is a gold explorer with two prospective assets in Ontario. The first one is the St. Anthony project near Sioux Lookout, and it includes 4 past-producing mines. The other is their Panama Lake project in the Red Lake area. It's near the Dixie project, which is now owned by Kinross after their Great Bear acquisition. Peter, you have about 15 minutes, which will follow with about 5 minutes of Q&A. Viewers, feel free to ask your questions at any time, and we'll get to as many as we can. Take it away.
Thanks very much, Kobe. How are you doing today?
All's good.
Excellent, excellent. Well, thanks very much for having me today. I'm just going to give you a quick overview of where we're at with STAG, St. Anthony Gold Corp, and its 2 assets. First of all, our flagship asset is the St. Anthony Gold Mine, which is a past-producing mine in Ontario, very large one back in the 40s. We believe we have 1 million plus ounces currently that we're exploring to expand. Our recent drilling program, which we're about to restart, has increased from further proper assays our gold recoveries up to 900%. So what we've found in the history of this production scenario back from the 40s, that was never assayed properly. So what we're looking to do is to continue our 15,000 meter drill program, which many of you probably have been following, and make that asset a compliant resource of between 1 and 3 million ounces. Historically, the drilling was focused on continuity and not so much the grade, and the assays were not compiled correctly. So now we've been combining fire assays, gravimetric assays, and metallic screen assays rather, to increase that gold grade. And we're getting such huge differences in the historic numbers. We feel that we can increase our non-compliant resource of about 1 million ounces to multiples of that. It's a very exciting project. It's got full infrastructure. Obviously, it's in the best jurisdiction. That's why everybody's chasing all these assets in the Red Lake region again, including Kinross and Barrick. So we're excited to continue our drilling there and make sure that we've got a serious news flow coming out of it as we expand into the other 3 target areas on the property, which are even higher grade than the current mine that we're exploring again. The Panama Lake asset has now been surrounded by Canoraland, which is a joint venture partner of Barrick, as everyone knows. Lots of interest in the area. It's a large land package of 11,700 hectares. Lots of interest there, lots of smoke from our drilling and our joint venture partner Benton's drilling, and Noranda before them, and even Gold Corp before them. So big package, right on the path of the exploration uptick in the district. So we're excited about our future plans here coming up in the spring to get into the next phase of our original drilling, which is now about 2 years old. In total, the company has 2 fantastic exploration assets. One has serious gold and history. One has lots and lots of smoke with a large land package. And we're looking forward to beginning our drilling again here in the next several weeks. As weather permits and the markets provide for financing, we'll get that job done. We're currently under a financing right now. We've closed the first tranche of it. Second tranche will close shortly, and we should be back to work. With the frozen conditions on the lakes around the area, it's going to make it a lot easier and a lot cheaper for us to get that job done. Kobe, I think that's just a quick overview. If there's anything specific.
I mean, yeah, if you want to start with the Q&A session now, that's fine. We can just chat about this. So, Red Lake's been in the news a lot, as you mentioned. First we saw Barrick pick up ground back last year, and then we saw Kinross come in and swoop up Great Bear. So now that that acquisition is done and you guys are operating in the area, can you maybe tell us what's happening right now? Is there still a staking rush going on, or has it cooled down since the acquisition closed? Is Barrick still in there kicking tires, or have they kind of given up now?
Oh, to the contrary, I think they're more aggressive than ever. The exploration activity, including the staking, everything that's relevant, I think has been tied up and is currently being explored. But with respect to Barrick and Kinross, I mean, Kinross got the prize, I guess, and Barrick is actively exploring and doing all kinds of work in the areas, as you've seen in their releases about exploration and what they're doing. Clearly, there's a focus in Red Lake from these guys and others, being the top couple of miners in the world. And clearly, they think there's way more gold in some of these overlooked and underexplored historic mines in the Red Lake district. So I think we all know that that's the case. At the end of the day, it's just exploration dollars. And, obviously the bigger guys have those. And as they see fit to send people in the field, I think there's going to be a lot of news coming in the next couple of years.
And, while we're on the topic of Panama Lake, you guys are in the Confed Belt, which historically that's been prospective for VMS. But, Great Bear with their massive gold discovery kind of turned things on their head. So what kind of targets are you looking for there? Do you have VMS and gold targets, or is it more one or the other?
We're just chasing the gold and silver at this point. 25% of our drill core is silver. So we're focused on a few different things on the St. Anthony asset itself. One is, of course, further drilling, confirmation drilling, twinning historic holes, other high grade areas on the site that have produced up to 17 ounces on surface sampling. So, super high grade stuff there. The tailings that sit on the property are, indicative of the underground, obviously, but with very poor recoveries from crushing circuits or stamp mills, rather, back in the 40s. So there's a gap here that we need to understand as to why we're getting such high grade recovery now versus what was produced. And I think it's pretty simple. I think the technology's changed. I think that the understanding of the ore body has changed. And, we've got the team sitting here that has, a multi-decades worth of experience on this specific asset itself. So we're in a good place, with a good understanding about what we need to do to make that, find out where the next ore body is, and or continue with the historic underground workings and drill out a potential that could be multi-million ounces.
So to be clear here, now we're talking about St. Anthony, not Panama Lake.
Sorry, yeah, from the Panama Lake standpoint, yeah, I think, gold has typically been it's our focus on its property, or on that property. So it's, to us, it is not as explored, and warrants a lot more work. And we have a plan for that coming in the spring that'll be focused on the southwest portion of the property, closer to where Kenora land is.
Okay.
It's been completely contiguous property now to where their exploration assets are. And I think they are mobilizing a spring project as well.
Okay. Is Barrick the one that's operating that, or is it Kenora land that's operating? Do you know?
That's a good question. I'm not sure who's actually operating it. But I certainly can tell you that the amount of money that's going into that region is probably well overseen by Barrick and its exploration expertise.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I before I took this job, I was actually working in Red Lake, and yeah, it's insane how many companies are now drilling there right now.
You'll see some more discoveries. There's no doubt. There's no doubt, or some increased ounces that you'll see, and some increased grade. I mean, it's a great spot. It's the safest jurisdiction in the world, and it's likely going to be the home of multiple more discoveries, I think, in the coming years.
Yeah, for sure. So You mentioned you got a program at Panama Lake planned for this spring, I believe. And, is that more geophysics, sampling, or what exactly are you hoping to achieve
Yeah,
there?
it'll be the full gambit. It'll be
Okay.
physics and understanding some of the historic geophysical data a little bit better, which is probably complete by now. And then obviously the sampling, but the drill bit works, so we'd like to start drilling, and once the high priority targets are identified, let's go to work on those.
Mm-hmm. And yeah, we've spoken a lot about Panama Lake, and we haven't even spoken much about your flagship asset yet. So at St. Anthony, where do you guys plan on drilling? You got 4 historic mines there, right? And are you looking to drill at extensions of all 4 of them, or are you looking to focus on one?
So the short answer to that question is the St. Anthony mine is the current focus, and there are still multiple targets, and we've re-identified a number of them that have been thought to have some of the highest grade and largest intercepts that were encountered historically. So we'll be following up with those while the ice is still there. Secondarily, there's the 3 other mines that ore was drawn from, but are super high grade historically from the records. So I would say, as a rough guess, 70-30 will be the split between some of the new prospects or the new drilling targets. And that may change, but I'm not the expert on the targets. The guys on the ground, and as what they see coming out of the ground, that can make that determination, and we can move pretty quickly and nimbly to make sure that the dollars are spent in the right direction based on what they find.
Right. And are you guys looking at acquiring any more ground? Is there anything in the works in terms of M&A?
Lots of discussions.
Lots of discussions, right? Okay.
It keeps me on my toes, and it's unbelievable. The industry is changing so much. A lot of the prospectors aren't there anymore, who know the ground, have the history. A lot of the records aren't available anymore. I mean, it's such an old mining camp area. There's just so much. There's so much there, and it's expensive to explore. So you got to pick the ones that make sense and that are in the right areas that may attract attention with the amount of dollars you're able to put into them.
Right. And how much cash do you guys currently have, and how much are you hoping to raise, and how much will you need in order to get St. Anthony where you want it by year end?
Tough junior market, as you know. We probably we're closing the second half of our financing as we speak, so we'll have between $500,000 and $750,000. We're trying to minimize that dilution as much as we can, but that'll get us through what we need to do on the second half of this phase of this drilling, and into the first phase of this drilling and into the second phase. And there's a few other things going on that'll help us get there.
And we know it's a historic operation. Do you guys have the historic core, all of it?
All of it.
Awesome. So, in terms of putting out a resource one day, it's, you got to reassay all of it?
That's a great question.
Okay.
That's a great question. And I don't have any specific numbers on this at this point, but if all of the the historic core was reassayed under the current standards that we've employed from what we've done on the 3 stage of our assaying programs, and we get the kind of increase that we've been getting recently, it would all be dumped right into a 43-101 resource calculation, and it could be as high as some of the results we've been getting recently from the core. So what that means is, what was a couple of grams turns into 10 grams, or what was half a gram turns into 5 grams. So that's a big number. And to be honest, that might be, one of the great things about a lower cost actual resource calculation from all the historic drilling, that was done, and just dumps it right into the compliant resource cap.
Yeah, I mean, that's definitely one of the big benefits of having a brownfield site with all the existing infrastructure, existing core, can potentially fast track this thing.
Absolutely.
All right, so with that, we're a little over time here, Peter, but thanks for the chat, thanks for the presentation. Next up, we have SKRR Exploration and Tempest Resources.